Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another rainy episode of Junkyard Digs. Today you're joining us in a building on a farm somewhere in a cornfield in Iowa with a 66 Corvair that hasn't moved from this spot for supposedly 20 years. What do you say we see if we can make it run and drive?
Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm doing today.
What do I do with my hands?
So like I mentioned before us, we have a 66 Corvair 500 that has been sitting off the road for an absolute number of years. I think the guy said it was 17 years actually. I'll have to reconfirm that with him. Looks like this car was stripped to have some bodywork and paint done, and then it never got done, so she just got parked. I think he did say he drove it like this for a while, maybe, if I remember right. 4 weeks?
4 weeks he drove it.
Oh, so he barely owned it.
And then the fuel pump went out, and then he parked it.
Oh, that's right. So we need a fuel pump. I have never owned one of these cars. I have never worked on one of these cars. I don't even think I've ever sat in or like touched one of these cars, barely. Definitely never sat in it. Oh, that's a first. See what's in there, Mook.
A seat.
Oh, it's got the reclining model seat.
Wow.
It looks like it's an automatic trans. That's interesting. I thought these were all manual.
Whoa, is that the shifter?
Yeah, that little knob.
Looks like a switch.
I think so. I know nothing about Corvairs, so I'm going to be wildly out of my element. This might as well be like another Fiat or something, because they're weird and they should be a foreign car, but they're not, and la-di-da.
The floor looks like if I set a pebble on it, it will fall through.
Is it
Look at that.
Oh yeah, floors ain't the best, huh?
Nay.
Other than that, it's not bad. Like, the door skins look really good. The rockers look really good. I'm sure this is potentially full of plastic and Bondo and whatnot, but looks pretty okay.
Is anything in the trunk? Loud noises!
Oh wow, this looks really good up here. Well, let's look at the in the bonnet. Oh.
Yeet. Look at this tiny belt.
Oh, that's right.
Twisted.
These are air cooled. This is how little I've worked with Corvairs. I forgot these are air cooled. You want to see if you can move that card linkage, Mook? Let's see if she's had any moisture slip into her. I'm gonna guess it comes
weird
up or down. Oh.
Oh.
Hey.
It moves.
There's one.
Oh my, there's spider webs in my hair.
As far as that goes, it doesn't look like there's a terribly large amount of moisture that's slipped into our motor here. What do you say we get some lights set up and see if we can get this thing to spin over?
Yes, I also need a stick to prop this up.
No, keep going.
Amazing.
Science.
Science.
You think there's keys for it?
No, probably not.
I never thought of that. That could be a problem.
I don't see any in the ignition, which is way over there.
Well, there's a big pile of parts over there. Yeah, here we go. I thought I saw a box of parts. Well, I'm gonna go get some lights set up. You look for keys, okay?
Okay.
What's step one, Mook?
Get this tire out of the engine bay.
That's true.
If I can. Get heck out! Thank you!
We'll take that air filter off, make sure there's no poop in there, eh?
Yeah.
So, in case we get this thing to spin, which I have no idea if it will, it doesn't suck the poop in.
Oh.
There's all the poop. Poop.
Pooba.
Okay, we got our 3/4 inch wrench. Oh, look at that. Thankfully this thing was stored inside, so it was able to weather most of the elements, it looks like, and our motor is free. Alright, well, I forgot the shop vac, so never mind that. We'll just hope that if it sucks any of this up, it just goes ripping through the cooling fins like a kidney stone at high velocity.
Sounds disgusting and painful, Kevin.
Yeah,
Thank you for that.
it hurt to say also, so not gonna do that again. So yeah, this is our fuel pump. A couple hoses, I don't know what those do. These are carburetors.
You said it correctly. I'm so proud of you.
This reminds me a lot of the Fiat. Spark plugs have a little bit of corrosion growing on them, but not bad. We're gonna go ahead and just simply pop all 6 out, and then we will throw some oil down these cylinders and start spinning this thing over. Alright, our spark plugs are out. Mook is going to grab a funnel and some trans fluid, get a little liquid down in there, and start rolling it around. See if we can get the rings that are probably stuck to free up. The problem here is not the fact that the motor's stuck. Motor spin is just fine. It's the fact that the rings on the pistons are probably stuck to the piston. So what the ring does is it's supposed to expand like a spring and seal the piston to the wall of the cylinder. When that piston ring gets rusty and sits for a long time, it'll hold its shape. And when it moves to a smaller part of the bore, it won't expand and seal. Usually the top's a little wider. So when you get up there, your piston ring's not sealing and you don't have any compression. So what we're going to try to do is soak those in a little transmission fluid, help free those up so they can snap back out against that wall and make things run a little bit better. You notice sometimes when you do a revival, it'll just start running better suddenly, even though no one touched it. And it's usually a ring, especially after you get some heat into it, a ring went dink and started working again. Okay, got some ATF in this thing. Thank you to whoever sent me these bottles, by the way. If you guys want to send us stuff that gets used on the show, we have a P.O. box down in the description. And if you want to see your shirts worn on the show, send them to the P.O. box. I wear an extra large, and Mook, you're a male small.
Female shirts, I'm medium usually. I mostly wear just adult male small shirts. Alright, we got some trans fluid in the cylinders. Let's work on spinning it over.
Alright, Mook, give her a spin.
Slow and steady.
Just a little tight, but most of the problem is it's just hard to get to. We'll try to do a full rotation. Actually, we'll try to do 2 full rotations so we get the valve train to do a full sequence as well. Speaking of that, fun fact, if you ever hear engine noise, your engine is going tick, 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 tick. That's usually a valve train noise, but if it's tick, 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 that's usually a bottom end noise, because bottom end noise is going to be twice as fast as your camshaft. There's one tighter spot, but we're getting places. I'd say that's good enough to try to put a battery on. Where's the starter on this? Nope. You know what? I don't want to know, because next thing I know, I'm going to be working on it. That'll be fine. Now we simply crank it. Any ideas? This is the part where I usually just go, oh yeah, the starter's solenoid, but let's go look around the interior so we can find a key. What do you say?
Okay.
Fixed. Nope. Ooh, nice. Y'all got any keys? I'm just gonna throw this out. Comb. Whatever that is. Whatever this is. Can opener? Paint can opener.
Yeah.
No key though. So this is how you shift. This is reverse, neutral, drive, low, which is pretty cool. The question is where's park? Is there a park? Or do you throw it in neutral and pull what I'm assuming is the emergency brake for park? 35,000 miles, I don't know if that's 35 or 135. A speedometer and a fuel gauge, that's it. We should have like full-time power stuff.
You got 3 out of the 4 lights.
No.
There's the 2. And only one side lights up.
No radio.
No radio?
Uh-uh.
You just have to sing to yourself while you're driving.
Let's see what we can do to hotwire this thing. Like in the movies, you know? I didn't think you'd be able to remove this without the key, but really they weren't too terribly concerned about people keeping their Corvairs as a long-term thing. Yeah, there we go. Mook, can you give me a flat screwdriver from that portable Tang Tools box that people can check out at tangtoolsusa.com and either order fully equipped or to their custom liking so that it's suitable for any job?
Should I shake it first? Get this one.
Okay. Our key is off. They even labeled it for us. So we've got battery, accessory, ignition, and the solenoid. So your battery is going to be your 12-volt input. It's going to be hot at all times. When you're turning your key to the on position, it will transfer power from battery into ignition so that your ignition is on, so it will run. You turn it one more click to start, and it'll then transfer power to solenoid as well. And solenoid is what cranks your motor. Now if your key is off and you turn it backwards to accessory, it connects your battery and your accessory. So your ignition, your coil stays off, but you can still run all your lights and everything. That's important. The reason that exists is because A, your coil draws a lot of power, and B, if you leave your coil on, it has the potential to explode. It'll sit there and get really hot, as I'm sure you maybe noticed working on your car. You touch a coil and be like, oh shit, that's warm, and you'll find your keys on. So always turn your key off if you're not trying to start your car. If you're checking electricals, turn it to accessory, or unplug your coil if you have to run the on position. Because if you leave that coil powered, just sitting there not being used, it can explode. So using this little map I have here, I'm going to take a wire from battery to ignition, and that should give us coil power, and then battery to solenoid, and we'll crank.
Of course, we brought our pup with us. Coda's first revival, and she's sleeping through the whole thing. She's a good sleepy pup. Right, Coda? Good girl. Can't go back to sleep.
Okay, so we have our new key. This is essentially what you see in the movies where they like pull out 3 wires, twist 2 together and tap the other one. That's actually what you would do to hotwire a car, which is essentially what this is, but with switches. We got a big momentary for the starter and a toggle for the coil. I have one positive here, the battery, the full-time feed, powers both switches. This will go to the starter, this will go to the ignition, and it's just that simple. You can do this with 2 pieces of wire. You don't have to get this complicated, but seeing that I'm probably not going to be able to get a key for this car, and we're probably going to be starting it a few times today and blah blah blah, this is just going to be easier to deal with. Plus, now I have one of these, and I just keep this in my box. And just like that, you have a key. Ta-da! I got dash lights. Check these out. Our temperature and pressure are unhappy, along with the generator and fan. Oh, that's interesting. There's a fan like switch or something in there to tell when the fan's running.
Oh.
Those dash lights are the only electrical item in this entire car. There's not even a clock. Oh, there's a fan. Hang on.
Hey, you break it, you buy it.
Ready?
Yep.
That sounds good.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so check for spark just like any other car ever. Turn the ignition on, pull your coil wire out, set it somewhere where it'll stay so you can watch it zap something or another. Dang it, frickin', there. If it's a really strong spark, we'll see it. Otherwise, I'll have to move it closer. Ready?
Yep. Oh my god.
Anything?
Well, some, like, giant rat or something ran out, so I didn't see anything.
Oh.
Alright, ready. Honestly, I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I think this is a point system, so this probably need clean. No spark. So, what that tells us is that either our coil is bad, the ignition feed to the coil is bad, or our points probably need cleaned, which is more than likely what it actually is. So, we'll go ahead and pop that cap off and clean that up. Rotor off, dust cover off. Oh, looks really nice in there. Except for all, whatever that is. What the hell is that? Our points are definitely corroded though. As you can see, they're very white right there. I'm just going to open these up and put a piece of sandpaper in there and clean them up. And you want to wipe them off when you're done. Or blow them off the best you can. Okay, now I'll go turn the ignition back on. And if those are working, I'll be able to open it and it'll spark. So what this is doing right here is this coil is charged all the time. It has a positive lead powered all the time when it's on. And it's grounded through this body of the distributor through this point. Everything on this plastic piece up until this little brass arm right here is insulated. So right now those points are open. And what that does is it cuts the power to that coil by removing the ground. So right now that coil has no power in it. But when you close it, it recharges that coil, and because of the way these are designed, There's a long metal core in the middle with wire wrapped around. And when you remove the ground, it discharges all the power it has stored up out this wire. So whenever you remove that ground, anytime you want, it will make a spark out of that coil by deleting the ground from the system. What you can do is utilize that ability and time it with this cam right here in the center, the 6-lobe cam, because this is a 6-cylinder, that when the engine rotates, that cam rotates. See, I can just barely move it by hand. And when that cam opens this arm, it interrupts that ground and makes a spark. And those lobes represent all 6 cylinders, which is why the timing of your distributor is so important. There it went. So when your points get corroded, they will never make that connection to charge the coil in the first place. That's why you gotta clean those up. Ideally replace them. If you're out in the field like this, just sand them off, they'll be good to go for a little bit. So, we now have spark. Let's check our rotor. Oh, he's brand new, like never been ran before. I think this probably sat for a while at one point and someone tried to get it going and put all new ignition parts in here. And then probably sold it to this guy who drove it for 4 weeks, like he said. Put our cap back on. And now we'll check again to see if we have spark. You want to watch right there, Mook?
Hold on, let me fix this light so it's not so wobbly. It was on the cord.
Ready?
Yep. We got spark.
Sweet. So we got rotation. Everything sounds healthy internally. Nothing's knocking or clattering or fighting us, not wanting to turn over. We've got spark. Let's put the spark plugs back in, see how our compression is, and then throw some fuel down it and see what happens. Good stuff. Even the weird cars still follow the exact same principles as everything else. You can make one thing run, you can make anything run. Except for diesels, those are weird. Alright, all 6 plugs are reconnected. Get all these lines that are in my way back on. We'll go hit the key and see if it still cranks over with compression. Then put gas in it and make our way towards seeing if it really is unsafe at any speeds. Okay, moment of truth. Put some fuel down these carbs. Mook's gonna climb in and crank it. Here we go, first start in 17 years. Hit it.
Whoa.
That's a lot of smoke. Look at that. It's all our trans fluid burning out of the exhaust. This is really hard to get both carbs at the same time. Go ahead. I wonder, is there vent walls things they can fill? This is a lot of smoke.
It smells like burnt stir fry.
It really does.
Oh, I forgot the seat contact.
Oh man. Look at that. I don't know how it's running that long. It's no fuel. Oh man. Alright, looks like we're running out. Holy crap, Mook.
Wow.
How did that run for so long? I didn't put that much fuel in.
That's a lot of burnt stir fry. Should I turn the ignition off?
Yeah, you can turn the ignition off. Well, there it is. First time she started in 17 years.
Maybe this one should be named Smokey.
Yeah, I think we named the wrong car Smokey.
Don't call the fire department, it's fine. Settle down.
This is like on par with when we did that massive burnout in that abandoned gymnasium. I don't know, I think that one's worse. I actually couldn't see you if you were that far away. True story. Well, she's a runner. Idle's really high. Well, what do you say we rig up a fuel system, see if we can get the idle? Preferably a little lower.
Yeah.
I think the chokes were on, is why it was doing that. Since we got the parts, might as well put the new fuel pump in. See if we can get the gas tank flushed out. There's the old pump. Oh, 03, rough year. 1998 was where it's at, if you can find a good tank of that. Vintage year. Alright, we'll get these fittings transferred over to the new pump, put that on, hook up an external fuel system, use the diaphragm pump to pull all the way from the tank, get all the poop out, put new gas in, see how it looks, and then remember that I never bought a filter. Just gonna send it, it's fine, whatever. There was a what?
It's a possum.
There was a possum?
A baby possum. I saw its little face peek out right there. And one of those might have been what ran over my foot earlier.
Alright, and less exciting news, the fuel pump's ready to go.
Who cares about that?
Exactly. Oh, here it is.
Oh, hi little guy.
He must have went into a rat hole or something in the corner. He gone. I knew this car like reminded me of the Fiat. Same color, rear engine, rear wheel drive. Kind of the weird little sporty car. Possums. 4 years came full circle with a Corvair. Who'd have thunk? Alright, I'm gonna finish hooking up this fuel pump half the way. And then we'll go from there.
Let's do a pup update. How's she doing? Just passed out.
Oh, look, he's back. I'm gonna name you Ralph Nader, just so you know. Yeah.
Unsafe at any speed? Oh, his name is Ralph.
Ralph Nader, the safety potato. Okay, so we have our new fuel pump in. The lines are off both carbs. I'm gonna get some soft line and run those into a bucket. And we're gonna run this by filling the bowls again and just seeing if we can get whatever's up front out.
Kevin, can you give the world a booger scope?
No. How are you? Okay, 2 soft lines run into this catch can in the back. We've got the bowls filled. No fuel came out whatsoever, so I'm gonna go throw like 2 or 3 gallons in the tank and see if we can get fuel moving that way.
Hello, Mr. Ralph. He seemed to not mind the engine.
Okay, get in there. You wanna look underneath the leaks once we get some fuel moving there, Mook?
I don't see anything.
Oh,
Oh. What'd you do, the vent?
I don't know, they just went sploosh back on me.
I don't see or hear any drips. But it's heckin' stinky because you spilled half a gallon.
Alright, I'm gonna fill the bowls again. Let's run it again and see if we can get some fresh fuel out. I'm sure it'll come out looking like poob and then clean up.
Booba.
Still no damn fuel back here.
What the heck?
I might have to crawl into the car and look at things. So, we have a different fuel system hooked up because I didn't see anything underneath, and frankly I couldn't get underneath and I didn't care enough to get underneath. So I brought a fuel tank which fits literally perfectly right there. and an electric fuel pump with clamps. So we're just gonna hook this son of a gun up. Implement the bashing device. Now I hit that one right in time. Hitting the alternator fins. That's really good.
Is that leaking?
Yeah, the batteries started leaking. It might be getting a little overcharged. That's why you can't really put batteries on their side like that. But well, Mook,
Sup?
we never checked if it breaks.
Correct.
We should do that.
Yeah.
Fluid brakes.
Goodbye, Mook.
17 years, not hopeful. Nope. That's a big floppy no.
Surprised you didn't go through the firewall there.
Yeah, me either. I guess next step is we see if our transmission works, and we do a little loopy-doo around the yard. Okay, before we go for a little drive and see if anything works, we're gonna see if the transmission even works at all. I've got a floor jack into the back. I'm gonna spin the old wheelie-doos. Let's see what happens.
Oh, sad now.
It must have spun.
It's fun. Did that other one free up?
No. This side's a little stucco. We must have done a little burnout there.
Yeah, we did a little bit.
I don't know how that's weird. It runs really bad once you put a load on it. So the carbs definitely need to gone through. We definitely need to figure out how to set the ignition timing properly. Clean everything up, probably get some new plugs in it. Or just take it home and get rid of it at the end of the video.
Yep, that one.
So as you can see, we obviously had a tire stuck over here. I'm going to pop this wheel off, see what I can do behind the wheel, I guess. There's a cylinder head and the exhaust and all that strange stuff. And there's the starter. It doesn't look that bad actually.
Fucking weird.
Fucking really weird.
Valve cover gaskets are leaking.
Oh, I
A
imagine.
little bit.
They're sideways.
Yeah.
They were unsealed at any speed. Okay, well, demo hammer. The truck had a receiver. I hit that. It wiggles a little bit now. I'm gonna try her again and see if she spins. It spun a little. Sometimes it's really loud, it's like pop, 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 and that's what's making power. And the other times it's just like, it's not making any power. Anywho, our tire spins now, so we can go ahead and put that back on. And see if this thing will roll outside on its own power. Which I really doubt. go. First time we're going to move under its own power in 17 years.
Looks like it has one of those pocket chains.
Okay, something's wrong. This thing's not running right. The pop of it running is gone. And it's just like wheezing its way along, like it's lost compression or something. I don't know. More fuel supplement. We're only running off one side. Watch this. Wasn't getting any fuel. Now it is, it's like 1,000 RPM. That's better. Let's try it again. Ta-da! Oh, we forgot to put air in that. I remember now. So yeah, that whole goofy thing there was the carburetor was getting no fuel, and I didn't know, even covering it at first, it wouldn't do anything until I put a secondary source of fuel in, and then it came back to life on 3 cylinders, and I went, oh. Until it started working. Now what, Mook?
Catch Ralph.
Catch Ralph. Ralph Nader, you get your ass over here. Well, Mook, it's a shitty rainy day, and given the reputation of what we do around here, what better day to wash this car? Should we take it home, wash it, put it up for sale?
Yeah. Somebody buy this car that looks like a shark.
I didn't see that till now, but now I can't unsee it, and I can't figure out exactly why it looks like a shark, but it's bothering me because it looks just like a shark.
It's the point right
Oh, it's,
here.
yeah.
This.
Well, you've ruined Corvairs.
Good.
Especially gray ones.
Were they not previously ruined?
Bingo, you've ruined trash.
Where's Ralph? Heck, it did it.
It's really weird shifting, like.
Is it worse than the dial twister or the dial shifters?
It's actually kind of cool. You're just like, oh, let me just, and you just hop between reverse or neutral and drive.
Do you feel like you're just like flipping a light on or something?
Yeah, feels like you're flipping on the danger at any speed. That's what the D is. It's like no danger, danger.
And then is the R really danger?
Yes.
Sweet.
Ridiculous danger.
Ridiculous. Okay.
And the low is, Lord have mercy, we gonna die. Stay over there.
No.
All right, last step for this video, give this thing a wash, see how bad it really is. Realize there's a bunch of problems we didn't see before, and then sell it for less, because suddenly now it's clean, it's worth less. Get rid of that valuable barn dust. You know, the fake dust that we put on everything.
Actually, it's flour.
Oh yeah, flour. White. It was just poorly painted over. Well, there it is. That's the ugly Corvair I remember. You know what? My favorite part is, ironically, it's probably worth less now. So there you have it. That's the story of the 66 Chevrolet Corvair barn find. Only took a couple hours to get it running and driving again, and now it's ready to move on to its next owner, which will hopefully receive the attention it deserves. Anyway, if you guys like this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe here to the channel to see more excellent content just like this. Check out Mook's channel, Junkyard Mook, link it right up here. This was one of our more requested cars, so I was really glad to be able to find one locally, pick it up cheap, and do everything we needed to make a video for you guys. Learned a couple things here or there about Corvairs and other stuff. So it was a good time. Let us know down in the comments, what other cars do you guys have that you would like to see us hunt down and revive? I don't know, maybe like a Buick Grand National? We'll see you guys next week on Junkyard Digs. Peace.